Hey, welcome back to Beyond the Battlefield. Today we're stepping into something deeply practical, but also profoundly liberating. Imagine this. It's the quarterly review at a Fortune 500 company. The boardroom is buzzing. Charts flash on the screen, red in some places, green in others. The head of sales is celebrating a big win in Europe, while operations is panicking over a supply chain delay in Asia. The CEO, though, just sits there, calm, almost detached. She listens to both extremes, the high of success, the low of crisis, and then says something unusual. Both are just waves. Let's not get lost in them. That's when I realized she was doing exactly what Krishna told Arjuna in verse 45 of Chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, Krishna looks at Arjuna and says, in essence, Arjuna, the Vedas deal with the three Gunas. Rise above these Gunas. Be free from the dualities they create. Stand firm in purity, beyond anxiety for gain and security. Rest in the self.
Krishna tells Arjuna to go beyond the three Gunas. But how can we go beyond something if we don't even know where it comes from?
That's a great place to start. The three Gunas, Sattva or clarity, Rajas like activity, and Tamas as inertia, are born from material nature. Think of material nature as the raw fabric of the universe, woven from these three threads. Everything in the material world, our thoughts, moods, ambitions, is colored by them.
So they're not just in us. They're everywhere?
Exactly. The cool stillness of dawn, Sattva, the rush hour corporate hustle, Rajas, the sluggish post-lunch slump in an office, Tamas. We live in a constant mix of these energies. Even our day is designed and influenced by Gunas.
Oh, really?
Have you ever felt like partying at 4 a.m.?
No, never.
That's the Sattva phase of the day till 7 or 8 in the morning. We work with lots of energy throughout the day till evening because Rajas is active that time, and after 7 in the evening we want to relax, we want to party. That's the Tamas pull.
Wow, I have never realized this before. But wait, Vedas are sacred. Why would Krishna ask someone to go beyond Vedas and Gunas both?
Because here's the subtle point, Jessica. The Vedas, in their ritualistic sections, mostly focus on how to live within the material world, how to act, how to worship, how to achieve certain results, even heavenly pleasures. But all of that is still operating inside the field of the three Gunas. Sattva, clarity, harmony, Rajas, activity, ambition, and Tamas, inertia, ignorance. They guide you within the system, but Krishna is telling Arjuna, this war you are fighting isn't just about playing better within the system. You must learn to step outside of it.
I think we should really make this real for our listeners. How would these Gunas look in a corporate office?
Let's imagine three managers. Sattvic manager, calm, ethical, collaborative. Everyone loves working with them. But here's the hidden trap. They might become too comfortable, avoiding tough decisions to keep the peace. Rajasic manager. Extremely driven, competitive, hitting targets. But they're always restless, never satisfied, burning themselves and others out. Tamasic manager. Resistant to change, prefers the way things have always been. Procrastinates. Avoids responsibility.
I get why Rajas and Tamas might limit us. But why not just aim for Sattva?
Because Sattva, while noble, still binds. It's like a golden cage. You feel peaceful, but you might still be attached to that peace and afraid of losing it. Krishna's point is, true freedom comes when you can rise above all three. When your clarity is not dependent on situations being good.
Okay, here's where I really want clarity. What does he mean by freedom from the dualities?
Think of Gunas as the unseen software running in the background of your mind. Rajas pushes you toward pleasure, success, recognition, and away from failure, pain, and loss. Tamas pulls you into comfort, safety, sameness, and away from risk or challenge. Even Sattva, though pure, still prefers harmony over disturbance. This preference bias creates dualities: hot versus cold, praise versus criticism, profit versus loss. And because we prefer one side, we suffer when the other side inevitably comes. Let's take an executive interview panel. Two candidates are equally qualified. One speaks confidently. The panel feels positive energy. The other is nervous. They feel negative energy. Our minds instantly favor one. But reality is, the nervous candidate might be a deep thinker who would exhale once comfortably. Duality blinds us. We think one side is inherently better. Krishna is saying, see both as passing phenomena. Operate from a place where your judgment isn't hijacked by Guna driven bias.
That sounds like a pretty evolved leader's skill.
Yes, one global CEO I studied practices what I call Guna awareness leadership. When profits spike, she doesn't get intoxicated with rajas. When markets dip, she doesn't fall into Tamas despair. When the team is at peace, she enjoys it, but doesn't cling to Sattva. Her decisions come from a steady center that's beyond the Gunas. Krishna isn't rejecting the Vedas. He's saying, use them as a boat to cross the river, but don't carry the boat on your head once you've crossed. For leaders, it's the same. Use frameworks, policies, and metrics. But at the moment of truth, act from a place beyond fear, greed, or comfort. Because beyond the Guna, there is no tug of war, just clarity.
So, if I get this right, it's not about throwing away the playbook. It's about not being limited by it.
Exactly. Operate beyond the software, and you become the programmer.
So, Ankur. Verse 46 is short, almost too simple. What's the big deal?
Jessica, this verse is one of those deceptively short lines that contains a universe inside, Krishna says. When you have the infinite, the knowledge of the Vedas becomes like a small well to someone standing by the shore of an endless lake. Imagine you've grown up in a small village. Every day you walk to the same stone well to draw water. You know every creak of the rope, every splash of the bucket. That water is life. Then one day you move to the shore of Lake Superior. It stretches beyond your vision. The wind carries water to your doorstep. Do you still obsess over guarding the well? No. The lake has made it irrelevant. The Vedas, in their ritualistic form, are the well. The direct experience of truth, self-realization, is the lake. Once you've reached the lake, you don't disrespect the well, but you don't depend on it anymore.
So in leadership, this is like when you've learned the manual so well, you don't need to keep checking it every day.
Exactly. A junior manager needs the handbook for every decision. A seasoned leader lives the principles so deeply, they can create the handbook for others. I once read about a Fortune 500 COO who said, by the time you lead at the top, you stop asking, what does the policy say? And start asking, what serves the mission best? That's moving from well-water thinking to lake vision leadership. But here's the twist. Sometimes people find comfort in staying by the well even after they've seen the lake. Why? Because it's familiar. Because the lake feels too vast. Because the well gives you control. In corporate terms, it's the leader who refuses to trust their instinct because they want every decision backed by an old spreadsheet. They never step into the infinite data of real-world judgment.
So is this just another way of saying, go beyond the Gunas?
Yes, but with a shift in imagery. In verse 45, Krishna told us to rise above the push and pull of Gunas, the dualities. In verse 46, he is telling us what happens when you do. Your vision expands so much. The limited frameworks of the past no longer bind you. Just as in verse 45, the goal was liberation from inner tug of war. In verse 46, the outcome is effortless clarity. The water is always there. You stop worrying about buckets. I'll give you a real example. At a global consumer goods company, a division head was famous for memorizing every past campaign. Every strategy was checked against what had worked before. Then the market shifted overnight. Consumer behavior flipped. The leaders who thrived weren't the ones with the most memory. They were the ones who could see the whole lake, the new patterns, the emerging needs. They didn't throw away the past, they just didn't let it cage them. When you operate like this, beyond the gunas, beyond the compulsive need for fixed rules, there's a quiet, steady freedom. You're not thrown around by praise or blame. You don't panic when the market turns. You're not clinging to the well because the lake is always with you.
So the real leadership journey is moving from bucket filling to lake living.
Yes. And when you see that lake, you can lead without fear because nothing runs out.
Friends, maybe that's the heart of this teaching. We start with wells. Our training, our rules, our comfort zones. We drink from them and they serve us. But the moment we awaken to the flood, the vastness of who we are beyond mood, beyond duality, the well is just a well. So here's my question for you this week. Are you leading from the well or from the flood? Because when you lead from the flood, nothing and no one can run you dry. And if you are looking more clarity, do not forget to check out our exclusive GPT companion link in the description. BYB Interactive. It's your space to interact, explore more insights from the Gita, or just continue the conversation at your own pace. Till then, stay calm, stay clear, stay bold.